Hi, I'm Lisa Keating. Welcome to EncinoMom, and I'm here today at the lovely, lovely home of Daphne Wayans, and she's a lovely woman. I can't wait to introduce you to her. Welcome to this episode of EncinoMom, and welcome Daphne Wayans.
Thank you.
So I heard that you're an only child.
Yes, I am. You heard correctly.
And how'd that work out for you?
It's worked out fine. I made it out alive with no siblings. I didn't even know the difference. I continue to make siblings. I call all my friends my sisters. And if I have a feeling in my heart about it, I made my own family.
Everybody's not always blessed with exactly the right people,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So you find those people and you make them your family.
That's right.
And then some people just have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Like you have
Me.
5
Like,
kids.
And I happen to make them all the perfect little family. Like they love each other and adore each other and are best friends.
And how
time.
did you manage that? Because that doesn't always happen.
I think I just got the right group, like how you hear a music or something and it's the right harmony. And, it's varying degrees, but for the most part, they really get along. And the other side of their family is the antithesis of how I grew up. There are so many of them. There are so many Wayans and so many siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles. So
you married a big family.
Yes, I went and got me a big family. I wanted a big family, so I went and got one.
Because, I have one child.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm always curious about, what that might be like for her.
Oh, well, I'll just tell you, one is, as for the mom, I find that one is as much work as 5. So kudos to you, because the one is always kind of like, okay, it's us, it's you and I, what are we doing?
Yes.
And with 5, you can at least at some point go, like the oldest one in my family, my children, the oldest one takes care of the youngest one. She's her tutor, she oversees her homework and all that sort of stuff.
I was wondering about that because, a lot of times you hear that, they'll say, oh, well, you have one, you have to have another one so they have someone to play with. Yeah.
No. Everyone who didn't have a child wanted me as an only child, and I could go easily places. I could travel easily, and I was way more independent than my children are with all their siblings because I just got used to being on my own.
Yeah, I see that in my daughter a lot, and and everybody wants her included in their family because she's easy to add.
Yeah, it's just one more.
Yeah.
I still see it in myself where I have some only kid ways, where it's like I don't have to share my things, and I don't have to share my things, and I just want quiet. So we're just going to have quiet for a few minutes. I started a thing with my children that they do with each other now. When they were little, I go, you guys, let's see who could play the quiet game.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, go, right? And now they just do it on each other.
Yeah, and it's amazing how powerful that is and how they want to win the game.
Right, but they do it on each other now. Who can play the quiet game?
But it's important to be able to be quiet together, don't you think?
Yeah.
That's like a life skill, to be able to be in the presence of others and still have your own...
Find your own peace within, right?
Yeah. What advice would you have for someone just starting a family?
Oh, it's not the destination, but the journey.
Yeah.
So the journey is the lesson. I always say, whatever those inner gut feelings are, they tend to be spot on. I was really young when I had my children, so I had...
You're still young.
Yeah, I'm very young. I was barely I was a tween. And when I had my children...
Cut.
Right. I was very young. And so I hadn't babysat, I wasn't around a lot of children, and I didn't see any mothers I didn't really see mothers like I had the feeling of the kind of mother I wanted to be. And I just abandoned everything that I saw and went with my gut.
When my baby was little, just home from the hospital days, they were like, okay, you have to put a pin on this side because you breastfed over here, right, and then over here, and you have to write everything down. So I got this chart, and I was very organized. And I had a red pen for crying and a green pen for sleeping, and I did this whole chart. And it was, I think, a day and a half, and I, all these little squares, and I drew the line. This is where I'm drawing the line.
Yes,
I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I know this breast is ready to go.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Like some of it is just in you. It's not
in you.
And I think you're born that way. You're born obviously with your own experiences from your mother, your own mother and your own aunties or mothers that you've seen, but then just an inner knowingness. I think the inner knowingness is just that you can't go wrong there. And I had to remind my children that I was also learning to be a mother. I didn't come with a manual. I didn't know, and I'm not always going to do things right. I always call my first daughter my guinea pig. That really I had to try all the things out on her.
When we first brought our daughter home to the house, we said, okay, we're going to take you through the house. This is the kitchen. This is the bedroom. This is where someday you'll have your bedroom. And we just like introduced her to that space and spent a lot of time communicating with her, even before she was verbal.
Yeah, that's right.
And I swear that girl was talking before she could actually have the articulation. You know, her muscles weren't working yet, but she was clued into what was going on.
That's so beautiful that you offer your baby, and I try to tell women that this is a being. It's not your item.
Yes,
is like
it's
a
not
real
your item.
person here who can communicate when they're upset or when they, it may just come in the form of a cry, but it's still a communication, and that you would know, just have that inner knowingness to offer your baby that kind of reverence is beautiful.
Well, I feel like we are the shepherds of our children more than the
owners, right?
Yeah, we don't own our children.
That's right.
We're privileged to have them in our lives. At the same time, they are not there to run our lives.
That's right.
Right?
That's
It's a give and take.
That's right. That's lovely. I never see that, but that's exactly how I operate, and that's how I've operated. I just always give my first baby so much acknowledgement and thank you for being patient with me as a mother, as I learned to be a mother, because my subsequent children, they really benefited, because there were some things that just like, I was like, we don't freak out about that. It's just a little dirt, or it's just a tantrum. It's funny. Look at it, and I was just lighter about all of it. But my first daughter is like, I didn't vaccinate, and there were a lot of things I didn't do, and I was like, oh my God, I hear all this noise, but something in my stomach is telling me, that this is the right way to go and the right thing to do, and, will I screw up? You just don't want to screw up.
No, you don't. You don't. And you also, I think, have to let go of trying to do it perfectly.
That's right.
Because you just can't. It's not. It's perfect in that it's in its imperfection.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
What was the difference in your mothering for your other kids after your guinea pig?
I guess it's just that I'm lighter, and none of the things I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. This is where you get to be a smart-ass teenager. Okay. That's fine. Let's see how that works for you. And I don't get my feathers ruffled about it anymore.
I found that I bought all kinds of things because I thought I had to have this kind of, high chair that would turn into a spaceship, and just all these kinds of gadgets and so forth. And now that I've raised my daughter, I'm watching my niece raise her daughter, and I see you actually don't need that.
Right, none of it. I'm
You've got
such
a
a minimalist.
Yeah.
People always want to come to me when they find out that they're mothers and say, what are the things I should get? And I said, I'm going to ruin your day. I know that you want to buy the spaceship high chair. I know that you want to get all the gadgets. I'm going to tell you to get none of it. I only have about 4 things I think you should get. One is like tie your baby to your back, cloth diapers, use your breasts, and I don't know, soap and water.
And maybe if you want to take them in the car.
Of course, a car seat. I stopped using a stroller. So I was like you. My first daughter I had 8 strollers because I was going, no, this isn't right. I had a
only
pram.
had 3.
No, I had a pram. That's like something you use in, when you're walking through Hyde's Park, Knightsbridge or something in England, and just taking these long walks, not like a curb every second.
You don't even get
in
to
LA.
push it. The nanny pushes
That's
it.
That's right. And the baby's far away, and you're dressed like a fashion model, and you don't even touch the baby. You just touch the pram, and by the end of it, I kept my babies in this bag. It looked like a purse, sort of like your purse there, like a side satchel. And I just peek in there, pull them up, breastfeed them, and that was all I had.
Okay, this is controversial. What about in the bed? baby's in the bed.
In the bed.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
bed.
I'm in the bed. I'm very much into the attachment parenting. I was able to rest comfortably knowing that my children were there, and I say to them now, I said to them last week, I hear every sigh in the house, every sigh, who drops something, when you roll over, you just are tuned in.
Yeah.
And then once my children had siblings, I put them in the bed with each other still, and they still are that way. I wake up, I'm like, okay, where are they? And I
They're
find
all
them
in some bed.
in the bed with each
together.
other. My children want to start homeschooling again, so we're thinking about it.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it, how there's so many people doing that?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such a, you know, I don't want to say anything against the school system.
No, you should. You can.
But you know,
Very
it's
much so.
it's such
Abysmal.
a thing in your life. It really takes over your life, and your kids aren't necessarily getting the kinds of
That's right.
exposure. But only having one child,
Mhm.
I really felt it was important for her to be in community with other people, other people.
And I
her
think there are
age.
ways to be in community. I agree. I think there are ways to be in community without. I don't know. I'm not a parent that's in the school, so it works out for my children. They're in school now, but they started off homeschooling, and so they just most of their friends homeschool as well. So they're trying to get back to that. You may not have the social aspect of school, but when you homeschool, you're only doing it for a few hours a day, and then you go out and you work or you do other activities and you engage yourself with other people so that you're still getting that social aspect in.
Yeah, and I think that you can be exposed to so much more. I think
That's
it's
right.
kind of a luxury though too. I mean, I think there are some families that just, you know, the husband is working, the wife is working, and it's not possible for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think there's so many options now, and
That's
one
true.
way is that the child or the student is in communication with the teacher via the internet, and it's that easy, and
Well-
it just is on the kid's own willingness and desire.
And that's that new K through 12 program,
Yes,
right?
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Do you know anybody that's using that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have some friends that are using it now, some actor kids, and they just love it. I ran into this little girl, and she was 8, and she was on the computer. I said, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I'm doing schooling. I said, really? She goes, yeah, I just finished history in 2 weeks, and it's really nice. I love it so much. I'm learning in a way that I want to learn at the times I want to learn, and I have the rest of my day free.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this has been just absolutely lovely.
yes, I love it. We can talk about anything forever.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, Daphne, thank you so much.
hug.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it from me today. I'm Lisa Keating with EncinoMom TV, and thank you to our guest, Daphne Wayans, and thank you for having us in your home.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.